Over the past decade, Ranger Nick has journeyed from one end of the state to the other, interviewing individuals from every corner of society. But this month, he's stepping into the world of country music, spending time with a true Georgia native who's captured the essence of the South in every lyric he pens.
Well, what you're looking at there is a beautiful piece of property in northeast Georgia, 375 acres, that is owned by country music sensation, Mr. Brantley Gilbert. Hey, Brantley.
How you doing, Ranger Nick?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for being with us today. And listen, you know this guy down here on the end, Dr. James Johnson. Doc, it's so good to be with you. Listen, we're out here on this piece of property. One of the things I want to talk about today is Brantley's ideals of giving back. The idea of country music and the ties to farm and faith and the land. I want to talk about another F, and that's forestry. And that idea of managing this landscape. Brantley, when you got this piece of property, how did you involve James down there? JT, as we call him.
One of the first things I've done with the property in Alabama that we had, you know, we learned from some mistakes. And when we got here around the house in Georgia, I knew this was, I looked for 15 years for a farm. And when we found this one, I knew it was the one. And I knew we were going to hold on to it for a long time. So I wanted to do things right from the jump. And one of the first ways I thought of to do that is get away from the earlier chapters of my life where I thought I knew everything and just admit that I didn't.
Okay.
So I knew that, you know, if I go to the local university, you know, there's experts there. There's data there that I don't have access to. So I'm looking through the roster and I see James Johnson.
At UGA,
picture,
right?
Yeah, at UGA. And I was like, that was my best friend growing up. Like, I know that. So I called him and I said, hey, man, just bought this farm over here, and I'd love for you to come take a look at it if you have time. And he said, man, I may be able to get out there sometime this week. And he came the next day, and he's been about every day since.
And so this is the thing. So a superstar reaching out to the university through outreach and extension, and we're always pushing that with the Ranger Nick segment, using extension agents, using outreach professionals. Y'all came out here and you looked at this piece of property, and on the backside of where we're standing is what it used to look like, this particular part. And then Dr. Johnson came along and said, listen, given your objectives, we want to open this thing up. And that's what y'all did, huh?
Absolutely.
And this is cleared out. What's the goal here?
Sunlight to the forest floor. Yep, that's it. So we're eventually going to put this in, and we're getting ready to plant it now. And we'll put it in a cool season, spring planting of clover, and turn it into a little green patch in the pines here. Yep.
Well, what I want to talk about with Brantley in just a second is I want to go take a look at a food plot and talk about if you ever do get any free time, getting out to hunt. I know he's got a brand new tour going on right now, a very, very busy guy. But the importance of getting outside with your family and the importance of connecting back with nature. So I want to roll on over to that food plot and let's go there next.
Go ahead and crank this on up.
All right, as we fly along by Brantley Gilbert's beautiful deer stand and over this beautiful food plot, we're standing down here and I want to bring Dr. Johnson back in, and I want to talk about Brantley's relationship with Dr. Johnson and bringing in an expert to help figure out how we're going to take care of the deer out here. Because Brantley, you're all about spending some time in the woods hunting.
Absolutely.
The family out, getting the kids out. So James, what are we going to do? What is being done out here to create a place for deer to eat? I can see this feeder. What about the green stuff?
Absolutely. So this is one of Brantley's larger food plots here on the farm. And we've got it planted in a cool season mix right now. And so it's a bit of a buffet, if you can think of. So all kinds of stuff out here, legumes, brassicas, grasses, all cool season mixes.
All right.
We planted a screen down the road there to break this food plot in half. And that makes the deer feel a little more secure, give us a little more daylight hunting opportunities.
Look at how much Brantley cares about these deer. Did you know this? I mean, they're making them feel secure and welcome, and it makes them feel safer, so they're going to come out. You were telling me before we started taping that if you're coming up this hill, those deer can't see you because of that blind of vegetation.
This is solid green wall, deer can be down there, and we can come up the back to enter the deer stand. And they never see us.
And what's so cool about this, involving extension and outreach, Brantley Gilbert reaches out to James Johnson, gets that expertise, that lifelong friendship, and you're really relying on that expertise from UGA.
Absolutely. And you know, one of the things we talked about as far as networking is most educated people who know what they're talking about are not afraid to reach out to other educated people. So if he doesn't know the answer, or even if he does, you know, he can access the network that's there at UGA or through the contacts he's met through the years doing what he does for a living. You know, I have to remember that I know a little bit. I've learned some things through the years. I love learning from him, you know, but I write songs for a living. So when it comes to what we want to do with this farm, I have to default to somebody that has a doctorate in that data, that information, and that skill set to make it better. You know, it's been wonderful for my family. One of the reasons I looked for a farm for 15 years is, you know, I always wanted a farm, but especially when I became a husband and a dad, you know, it changes everything. Sure. And you don't meet many kids that grow up on a farm that don't understand work ethic. You know what I mean? That are spoiled rotten, aren't afraid to get their hands dirty. And man, my kids get here and they're different kids. Yeah. You know, they don't spend their time ever, even where we live now, they don't get a lot of screen time a day. And when they get out here, you know, my son said the other day, he said, "Daddy, I don't need toys at the farm."
That's a great line.
Yeah, it was all, you know what I mean? It was like, that was amazing. Yeah. I'm not a crier, but you know, spending time with them out here, you know, JT bringing his girl out to hunt and fish, and it's just it's an irreplaceable feeling.
Well, how about that beautiful pond? What you're looking at there is another piece of this paradise for Brantley out here. From the forest to the food plot to the pond. And Brantley, this is another way you're giving back. What's going on in this pond and the community?
Well, man, again, you know, we wanted the foundation of this place to be right. And after I reached out to Dr. James, we got ready to get the fish right. And he reached out to Dr. Jay Shelton,
you got it.
Who's a fishery professor at UGA. Yep. Fish expert.
Good friend of the show too.
Absolutely. And man, you know, it's been awesome. He's brought classes out here. Dr. James has brought classes out here, you know, whether it be about forestry or fishery, you know, so we like to think, you know, we kind of give back to the college a little bit. A lot of the UGA football players will come fish here. A lot of the local high school kids come and fish here. And it's an awesome way to give back, you know, because I remember when I was around college age, high school age, I wasn't really dipping off to go fishing. So I think there's a lot worse things they could be doing. Right. And we tell them as long as they watch out for the alligators, they're good to go. But we've got, so this is mostly trophy bass pond right here. Then we've got the kiddie pond. So anything under 2 pounds that's caught over there goes in here. Okay. This has a lot of rainbow trout in it. Yep. Move over to the beach. We call it the beach pond because there's a beach on it. Okay. It's got feed train bass and striper. And then the last pond's got a little bit of everything, including some 20, 30-pound cats. Oh my gosh. So they can have a lot of fun and make a day out of it out here, you know, and it's been great for our kids too, especially these rainbow trout have been a lot of fun. You know, they come out and the minute the line hits the water, you know, something's tagging it. So it's been a lot of fun. And for them to know that they're coming out to your place and this idea of you giving back to the community, it's just a really wonderful story. I can't thank you enough. Oh, man. Thank you, Brantley. Thank you. And coming. Be careful on the road. This guy's busy on the road with the tour. While you're online checking out Brantley Gilbert and all the things he's got coming up with the tour stops, check out the Ranger Nick Facebook page and the Farm Monitor Facebook page and see what's going on there. And until next time, for the Farm Monitor, as we always say, I'm Ranger Nick, reminding you that enthusiasm is contagious. Yes. So pass it on. Y'all, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you right back here again this time next month. See ya. Enthusiasm.